Welcome to your second stimulus check and stimulus package update. Hope you are staying safe and doing well today. The clock is ticking. We are roughly 2 weeks away from the election, and right now people are wondering when exactly a stimulus agreement will be reached. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has said she's optimistic, but in today's update, we'll quickly go through all the details, the new details you deserve to know about the stimulus negotiations between the White House and the Democrats. So when exactly will they try to pass something? We'll talk about where things currently stand as of today with the stimulus negotiations. But before we dive into that, if this is your first time stopping by this channel, welcome. Consider subscribing now to join this amazing community to stay informed on the latest stimulus updates, economic updates, and financial tips. And one more thing, give this video a thumbs up if you support a second stimulus check and more help to struggling Americans at this point in time. We need Congress to act quicker. So the quicker they act, the more help people will receive. People who are going through so much financial strain and so much financial pressure at this point in time. So what exactly is happening between House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin's stimulus negotiations? Both parties have been having phone conversations for some time now, and it does seem like those conversations have been going okay, and those stimulus talks seem to be leading slowly to some progress. But what exactly happened yesterday? So we did see a tweet from Drew Hamill. Drew Hamill is the chief of staff, deputy chief of staff, and spokesperson for House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, and he's been keeping us up to date with what exactly has been going on in the stimulus negotiations between House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and the White House. So this is exactly what he tweeted yesterday. So yesterday he said the Speaker and Secretary Mnuchin spoke today at 2:30 p.m. for 48 minutes. Remember, the previous day they spoke for 53 minutes, and the day before that they spoke for about an hour. So today's conversation brings us closer to being able to put pen to paper to write legislation. With the exchange of legislative language, we are better prepared to reach compromise on several priorities. So this seems to be, again, headed towards the positive direction. Because what Drew is saying here is that they are close to putting pen to paper to draft an actual legislation. So once they get to that point where they can draft a legislation, that basically means that an agreement is here and they just have to send it to the Senate floor for votes to get the votes from Mitch McConnell. But then he goes on to say that the differences continue to be narrowed on health priorities, including the language providing a national strategic testing and contract tracing plan. Remember, the testing and the funds for testing and the language, the description on how the funding will be used for testing and tracing has been a major sticky point. So right now it seems like they are continuing to narrow those differences according to this tweet from House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's spokesperson. And then he also goes on to say, but more work needs to be done to ensure that schools are the safest places in America for children to learn. So it looks like they're trying to refine the language when it comes to funding for schools or the PPE for schools. So more to come on that. Then the other thing that he did say, he goes on in the next tweet, he said the speaker and secretary plan to speak again tomorrow, hopefully with further guidance from committee chairs as they work to resolve open questions. So it does seem like they do have some questions that need to be tackled, some more questions, and hopefully House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin can get together today on another phone call and resolve whatever issues or whatever open questions that need to be resolved. Again, let me know your thoughts about this in the comment section below. That's where things currently stand according to the reports from House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's spokesperson. Now, the other thing that we saw House Speaker Nancy Pelosi had an interview on MSNBC yesterday with Andrea Mitchell, and we're going to hear directly from Nancy Pelosi herself on where she thinks things currently stand. So she had this interview before she spoke to Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin yesterday, and during the interview on MSNBC, she was asked, where do we stand? So where do things currently stand with the stimulus check and this new stimulus bill? So this is what she said. So Nancy Pelosi said, well, thank you. I'm pretty happy. I think we have a prospect for an agreement. I do not believe that our timetable has come and gone. We had a purpose in the timetable, which is what we would establish where we are. which is that we will establish where we are. Freeze the design on your position. No more discussions about nah. What is your position? And that is what we are coming to conclusion about now. There's some delay on the part of Republicans about the appropriations piece of it, but I hope that this will be resolved. The secretary will be back in conversation with us later today, and hopefully that will be resolved. So this was what she said yesterday prior to the interview with, prior to the phone conversation with Stephen Mnuchin on the stimulus. So again, she does seem to have a high hope that some type of agreement will be reached by both sides, and she's been saying that she does believe an agreement will be reached before the election. So again, I want to hear what you think exactly about House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's response to some of these stimulus. She seems pretty optimistic. She does go on to say at some point during the interview, she says, again, I am optimistic there will be a bill. So she says for sure that there will be a bill. And then she also mentioned that it is a question of, is it in time to pay the November rent, which is my goal, or is it going to be shortly thereafter and retroactive? So she's been saying that some of these provisions will be retroactive, and I've mentioned that in previous updates. So it does sound like Nancy Pelosi still wants a bill before November, and she says that's her goal, and there will be a bill according to her. On the other hand, according to CNBC, the Senate Democrats blocked the GOP's $500 billion skinny stimulus bill. Remember, Senate leader Mitch McConnell plan to vote on the Senate on the skinny stimulus bill, which does not include the $1,200 second stimulus check. This bill includes liability protection for businesses and a reduced amount of unemployment insurance benefits. So the weekly unemployment benefit that we saw from this very bill is $300 per week. So $300 per week versus what the Democrats and the White House are actually shooting for right now. The Democrats have $600 per week in their stimulus bill, but Mitch McConnell's bill has only $300 per week for unemployment benefits. And then this bill also includes some type of tax rebates, and as well as it also has the liability protection for businesses. Again, let me know your thoughts about this in the comment section below. While we wait for Congress to finalize the next stimulus package, you may have to pick up a side hustle or side gig to get some cash or make some extra money from home. Be sure to check out the video on the left to discover the one-of-a-kind website that pays you hundreds to thousands of dollars to just read out loud. This is a free, simple, and exclusive side hustle, and in this video, you'll discover the step-by-step process to get started today. And if you want the best-kept secret to increase your credit score fast, check out the video on the right. Don't forget to help others find this video quicker by liking this video and sharing it. And also, be sure to subscribe now as we track the latest progress on the next stimulus package. See you in the next update. Be safe and thank you for watching.